going to continue to be encouraged today by the truth that nothing is impossible with God. Thank God for His power and thank God for His willingness to do miracles in and through us and for us in our lives because He's such a good Father. But we're going to continue to look at the woman with the issue of blood today and what helped her to experience her miracle. And we've already established that through her story and her miracle, we can know that nothing is impossible. Nothing is hopeless when it comes to God. We also saw yesterday that it's so important to hear the word. What we hear is of paramount importance. And another lesson we can learn from this miracle and this story, I believe, is the power of our words. You see, the first thing that happened to this woman that caused her to hope again was she heard about Jesus. But the Bible tells us after hearing about Jesus, she started saying something. And the Bible tells us in Mark 5 verse 28 in the Amplified Classic, for she kept saying, if I only touch His garments, I shall be restored to health. You know, some translations say she thought to herself, but the Greek word there is actually the word for saying, and it means to say repetitiously, to say it over and over again. So I like how the Amplified translated it here by saying she kept saying to herself. She kept saying, if I can just touch Him, I will be healed. I will be restored. Now you see, what I love about this woman was she used her words not to describe her situation, but to change the situation. I believe too many times we use our words to simply describe what is going on in our lives instead of proclaiming what we can experience because of the promises of God. I want to encourage you today not to use your words to simply describe your situation and what is going on in your life. Use your words to change your situation. You see, we can exalt the truth of God over the facts of life that we might experience. I'm not advocating that we ignore things that are happening in our lives, but I am saying let's focus on the truth. Let's focus on the promises of God and let's start proclaiming that with our words. The Bible also says in Proverbs 18 verse 21, death and life are in the power of a tongue. Death and life are in the power of our tongue, are in the power of our words. So are you going to speak death or are you going to speak life? And even if you've been speaking death, you can change, you can repent, change your mind and start speaking life. Start speaking what the word says, and it will help you to step out in faith in your life. The Bible also tells us in Mark 11 verse 23, for assuredly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be removed and be cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he says will be done, he will have whatever he says. Now that's quite a well-known passage. It's Jesus saying that we can speak to mountains in our lives. But the word believes is only found once in that verse. The word saying, is found 3 times in that verse. So it shows us where Jesus puts the emphasis. It's important to believe, it's important to not doubt, but it's even more important to speak words of life, because that can actually help our hearts to get persuaded and to remove doubt from our hearts. So I want to remind you today, it's important to hear the word, but as you hear it, as you hear the good news about Jesus, start speaking it too. Start speaking life. Start proclaiming the promises of God. And I believe it will help you to experience the impossible in your life. You are highly favored and deeply loved.